महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. The topic I will be talking to you is choiceless acceptance, mainly based on Shruti and Veda. Now, in Indian culture, generally, an individual is governed by the teachings of Veda. This Veda is otherwise called as Shruti. So when, like a musician, when the Shruti is proper, the music will be good. So when we are following the teachings of Shruti or Veda, our life becomes enjoyable. Now when the musician is singing, he will be just having the Shruti at the back. If he is not having a good Shruti, it will become apashruti. So nobody will enjoy. He himself will not enjoy, and others it will be very terrible. So in the same way, while we are leading a life, the Shruti is very, very important. When we are leading a life, we have to have the Shruti support also. Like we should not lead a life like apashruti, which is also called as Shruti Biradaddha. So it should not be against this apashruti, it should be Shruti. Now this Shruti, how it started? Now we say that there is no author for this Shruti. Shruti, when I say it is not musical Shruti, I am talking about Shruti or Veda. So this Shruti, we don't have any author. There is no written document. It is coming from Parampara. There is no author, no written material. We believe that Lord Himself has given this Shruti, and it is called as Aparoksha. So this Shruti is divided into two. When I say Shruti, you can take it as Veda also. It is divided into two. The initial part is the emotional problem. Generally, when we are leading a life, we come across many situations. We have to face the situation. For example, we say hatred, jealousy, and then fear, and then frustration, all those things. Now when we talk about anger, when you see a person, you don't feel like talking to him. You don't like his behavior, the way he behaves, his contact. So you avoid talking to him. The other one is hatred. I feel hatred towards seeing the sight of a particular person. These things sometimes we have in our mind. In the same way, jealousy also. We cannot stand the next person's prosperity, neighbor's prosperity, because his son is getting first rank. My son is getting only third and second rank. So we cannot stand the prosperity or the upcoming of the neighbor. So that is jealousy. So this hatred, jealousy, and then frustration. Sometimes we get frustrated also, their own family people. When we are having a talk about among ourselves, we will be initially, how are you? We will say, I'm fine. Then after a cup of coffee, we start with our own problem. What is happening in my office, or what is happening in my neighborhood, what is happening in my family. Like that we'll be talking one or the other and come out with a personal problem also. That is human being. So when we have all these things like hatred, fear, frustration, fear is, suppose you are going to make your son write the exam IIT. Then you have the fear whether he is going to come out with flying colors, or he is not going to pass out or not. So that fear is there because you want the situation to be the same way as you think. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Most of the time it doesn't happen. So in Veda, you have got these pariharas. So it gives you an umbrella. You can do japa, you can do pilgrimage, you can go for a pilgrimage, and then you can offer prayer to Bhagavan. Like that, it gives certain things which will help you to uphold the emotional problems. And one more thing is we have got this, what do you call it, as palmistry, astrology, so many things we see come across. So when you are in a critical situation, we won't approach them to find out the solution to our problem. Sometimes it works, many a time it doesn't work. So the Shastra divides that, call it as Vedic, and divide it as Durbala Prarabdha and Prabala Prarabdha. This Durbala Prarabdha, it is not very strong in the emotional areas. Somehow you can get a solution. You can come over from the situation. When I say situation, each and every day we present before many situations. So many situations which you don't want to happen. So this Durbala Prarabdha, you can just go ahead with it. You can offer prayer. You can go to an astrologer and ask for any prayer, or you can go to any sannyasi and ask for japa, tapa, anything you can ask. Or you can go for the pilgrimage according to the advice of the astrologer. This Durbala can be covered up. The next one, the Prabala Prarabdha, it is very difficult to face it. Sometimes you won't be able to take a decision. So the answer will not be there to face the situation. Now that we call it as aparigraha artha. The English version of it, there is no answer for your situation. There is no remedy for your situation. Now these are the two things Veda talk about when we talk about Vidhi. So how to face this situation? How to come over this situation? There should be a logic. But we have generally one term called as when nothing can be cured, you can endure it. So when all the doors are closed that you are not able to come out of the situation, somewhere, some faith you have that one door will open up and make you to lead to the situation. Situation is what? Why these emotional problems come up? Generally, Veda talks about emotional and mental problems in the first part. Why do we get this emotional problem? Emotional problem in the sense we are not able to face the situation. And we divide the mind and intellect into two. You should have come across about Nichayatmika Buddhi, and then about this mind, samshaya, this or that, you have the difference between these two. To take this one or that one. Like Swamiji used to say, when you are getting up early in the morning, you have a big doubt whether to have today brinjal or something else to have for cooking. Whether to have just with the rice enough. So we have a conflict in our mind to find out how to come across this emotional situation or frustration. Mainly emotional situations. Now, to answer to these questions, we know the answer that we should not do. We should not cry. We should not be emotional. We have to face the situation. Still then, with the situation itself, we'll be crying. Intellect will be very good. Intellect will say, okay, we have to accept the situation. But the mind says, no, how can that happen to me? So this Nichya Atmika Buddhi is quiet. And this mind is only giving a wavering thought. Why to me? Why this happens to me? So like that we lead a life. The situation is like that. So you have to face the situation and lead a life like that. So for that, what is the solution is that when you have this emotional problem or frustration or depression, you will be having a weaker mental setup. You are not able to face certain situation. Suppose somebody talks something against you, you get upset, right? Even in our home itself, when somebody is talking something beyond, you just get upset. So what you do at that time, you get emotional. Suddenly, you just eyes become red, and then water started coming over from your eyes, and you start crying. So that type of situation is called as your mind is very weak. So how to get strength from the to get the mind strengthening itself to face the situation. For that, we have got one important thing. You have to go to Ishvara. Saranagati, surrender, and then praying to God. You should have faith in that. Even though faith, they say it is illogical, it works. Faith works. Whenever you are in trouble, what do? We go to a temple or you go to an ashram to see a sannyasi. So to attend to the class, Vedanta class, to make your mind calm. Okay, faith is also one important thing. You have to put your mind to a calm place. And then you have got this Sharanagati, surrender, and then praying to God. Suppose if you see that it is not going to happen, what you are going to do, you have to accept. No other way, you have to accept. You cannot change the situation. Something you have done, then later on you want to change it, that will not happen anymore. Once it is done, then only. What you call it as karma. Karma kanda, whatever you have done, you have to keep going with that. So the next part, the first part of complete of all this situation is talked in the karma kanda, mainly religion. First part. All this is talk. What I am talking is only from the Shruti and Veda. And the second part you can change it. The first part is religion, and the next part is philosophy. Now this philosophy comes whenever you are in a big trouble. I believe there was one tennis player, Austrino. She has won double-time championship. But when she was traveling, she met with an accident and she lost her leg. So she could not play after that. So at that time she suggested herself that I can become a commentator for that situation. So he said, I believe I was unlucky to remove my leg, but I'm lucky to survive. Later on she told, we believe that why me? Why this happened to me? What did I do to happen to this? In this context, I want to tell you one important thing. When we were studying in 3-year course, there was one lady who was studying along with us. She's from Chennai. She got married, and after some years, they were traveling to Trichy. As they were traveling in Trichy, they met with an accident. So she got something cured with it, and her husband also got cured. And then they wanted to go for a second reference to a doctor. So when they went for the second reference to the doctor was anesthesia, something they gave. Immediately he didn't come out of this anesthesia. She narrated this in a very big way in the ashram when we were doing the course. And she asked this question, why me? Why this trouble for me? She was very young at that time. So she was continuing, she won't come out of the house, I believe. She won't come out of the house. And somebody made her to go and visit Paramarthananda. So Paramarthananda suggested and advised her to go to Hyderabad. There was one teacher, one Swamini teacher, and she attended classes. So she came out of this, why me? After coming to the Vedanta class, she had complete absence of this why me. But people face different situations. The same way, this tennis player also faced the same situation, why me? He asked this question many times after his injury and after that everything. When she was interviewed, she said many times, why me? And there was a beautiful explanation. This Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a great singer. Now he died recently. Now when Swamiji was taking class, that something happened. Now Swamiji said that Michael Jackson, a great singer, he died. We should have come to Vedanta. We should have saved one life. He's a great singer, dancer, everything. We should have saved life. Swamiji was thinking for a long time. Michael Jackson died. Then a few minutes later he said, if you should have come to my Vedanta class, I should have saved. There are many an occasion like this that we see that we are not able to change the situation. Now sometimes we even scold God. What mistake I did? I was regularly visiting temple, I was doing japa and I was doing prayer, everything. Why happened to me? Like one great singer, no, this Maharajapuram Santana, when he passed away in an accident, no, everybody thought, why it should happen to him, such a nice person, great singer, and that one. I think somebody answered fate. Fate, generally we don't use fate, no. It's a very crucial word. But it has some meaning. We call it as Prarabdha Karma. What do you call it as Porn Janmat Karma? You are facing that situation. Now, why Pura Janma Karma? Now immediately say, previous Janma you have done some mistake. And again, why last Janma, previous Janma? Previous Janma itself you have done something wrong. So you have to face the situation. That's why the question, why me? This karma, no, it works a lot. And then we start the question, why me? Who is determining my fate? Is God determining the fate? Then God should be a sadist, right? He is doing something good for one particular person, and he is doing something. Even though I go to the temple, I do good things, I don't do any papa. Everything I am doing, but still I am facing the situation. We start with these questions, which is called as philosophical question. So one part religion. So the mind calms down after questioning. The emotional part of it settles down. When emotional part of it settles down, philosophical thinking comes up. Why should I study? Why should I achieve? Who is God to determine my fate? That big question will come up. Then finally what we call it as, what we say is, why union? It is for separation. Why growth? It is for declension. Why there is famine in Africa? Why innocent people were killed by the terrorists? Like that, so many things. This is fate or determined by God. So many things happens. We call it as determined by God. Determined by God. Like that, we go along with the fate or with the situation. So when this emotional part of the situation calms down, where mind calms down, and then this intellect, it comes up. This intellect is very brilliant, very sharp, capable of understanding Vedanta, Panini, grammar, everything. But a slight situation, it comes, the mind takes a role. You start immediately doing this role and say, why it is like this, why it is like this. Brilliant person, intelligent, brilliant, sharp person will have the same thinking of emotional touch-up. So that we have set up with all this facing the situation. So we have got the famous shloka in Gita, Karmanye Vadikadasya Mapale Dudbhuti. Then we have to accept the karma. So whatever situation that comes to our life, we have to face the situation. So all this determines, and everything is given in the form of Veda and Shruti or Shruti. Then how to open that Veda or Shruti and get the idea from the book, and there should be a teacher. This we call it as parampara, teaching tradition we call it as. So that book should be open. There's one nice incident. There was people going for dinner in seashore. So they all took everything and they go for dinner. Now they missed one thing. One thing is for tomato sauce. They did not bring the opener. So they missed the opener. So how to eat? So they, after looking at the sauce, they start eating the other dishes. So like that we have got the treasure of Veda. That is very well done by Purna Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Purna Mimamsa, this is done by Vyasa. This Purna Mimamsa is all this Purana and stories and then Dharma Shastras. This is mainly done by Vyasa. And the second one is Uttara Mimamsa, which is Brahma Sutra. It is called as Vyasa Sutrani and Bhadaranya Sutrani. So these two types, no, these are the keys to open. Who will open? The Mimamsakara will open and find out what is given in that treasure. So daily seeing the different situation along with the study of the Shastras, you will be able to face difficult situation and come out with easy situation. Or for this I was trying for a long time. When you are talking about the emotional situation, the answer itself is there. How do you say emotional disturbance? You are the problem for your emotions. You have to accept. That acceptance should come. That acceptance is the important principle for leading a happy life. Like Shruti, when the Shruti is upper Shruti, the musician will not enjoy. In the same way, with the help of the Shruti or Vedas, when you are going to lead a life, so opening up the Mimamsa Kara, Purna Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, you will be able to face any situation in the life. That we have to thank Vyasacharya. He was the pioneer person in doing all this together to open up the book, Shastra book, and find out, and we need teacher who can open and find out the meaning and talk to us about it. So this is also very important. Imagine there is a situation. A person who is in emotional, he meets a sannyasi. The sannyasi will not say sadhana sadhushtaya sampatti. He cannot say this because he is coming with an emotional problem. So sannyasi says, okay, you come, you are having some problem, I am supporting you. I will give you a moral support. Don't worry. And he just gives a vibhuti. And he has faith in that vibhuti. So after enduring with all his difficulties, he comes back again to the same sannyasi. And sannyasi says, your sadhana satushtaya sampannaha. Then he can straight away start with Isha Vasyam Vidagum Sarvam. So the emotional problem gets controlled with the look of the sannyasi, with getting the vibhuti. So all this is done by Vyasacharya. The book which talks about different areas. I'm not saying just like that. It is all given in the Karma Kanta. The main first part of the Veda is the Karma Kanta, where it talks about the emotional problem, human problem. Karma means action, no? When we are doing any action, there should be a result. Either it should be a positive result or a negative result. We have to face both. So this is done by Vyasacharya. That is why this Vyasacharya is called as the Adi Guru. Even though we call Bhagavan as the Adi Guru, Vyasacharya is the pioneer person in making all this Shruti and then Brahma Sutra and Dharmic Shastras, everything in one order. He gave the key, and then we are eating the delicious food of Shastra through the different types of books we read. Now coming to this Vyasa, he is also a pioneer person more than Shankaracharya. Now Vyasacharya has given a lot of work on Dharma Shastra. He is talking more about Dharma Shastra. Nowadays we compromise so many things in life, right? We don't strictly follow Dharma. Are we following strictly Dharma? We have to compromise these days, no? So he has given lot about the Dharma Shastra. So that Shastra we can to certain extent compromise, not always. So he also talks about different areas about this emotional problem and about the philosophical problem. See, Veda is also talking about both emotional problem and philosophical problem. Both are talked in the Veda. So Vyasa is one of the person who combined together all those things and put it in order. And that is why in Guru Purnima we say Vyasa Purnima. We don't say generally Vyasa Purnima, we call it as because he was the pioneer person, and we don't say Shankaracharya also, we don't give much importance. We call about Vyasa Acharya. So with this text of Shruti or studying of Veda, we'll be able to balance with both emotional and about this philosophical Vedantic questions. So it will become a shock absorber. Whatever you have studied will give you the strength. That will make your life more meaningful. This is what I want to talk about, acceptance. You may wonder why I did not use any choice. When I'm talking about situation, that itself is a choice. To do this one or that one. Whether to cook brinjal or whether to cook something else. So same way, like whether I will go for the class today or I will do something else. This is a shock observer which will give you the strength to face the situation in life. So you can accept. This is what should happen to me if you decide. That will never happen. We cannot plan. So that is predetermined, we say. It is predetermined by God. Why? Who is he to question? God has no right to question us, but we say, poor Janma Karma. What and all I have done, I don't know. But still I am facing certain situation, no? That means we call it as Purva Janma Karma Phala. That is why I am facing like this. Some of you may feel that why we are in America. We will be missing Indian situation. Margari Masam. Kacheri, Madras, Naraya Kacheri. If you are interested in music, no, you will be missing on Nikava part, interpart, Nikiva part, interpart, you miss. But you are missing all those things, but still you are happy. No, Swamiji has given a beautiful ashram. People are coming, sannyasis are coming and taking classes for your situation which is worse. You can listen to Shastra. It will open up all your activities and try to proceed with that. Oh, this is how accepting. This is how we have to lead a life. நான் இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு நினச்சானா ப்ராப்ளம். எப்படி வேணால் இருக்கலாம். Twist and turns from the upper. I'm able to adjust with that. That will help by this Shruti and Shruti of Veda. So we'll be a shock observers and try to lead the life by listening to all the classes, attending different sannyasis classes. Will be. Thank you.
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. It is a choiceless situation to listen to me also. And I took it as a Vedic way of life. Both are connected. A choiceless acceptance will need a Vedic way of life. It's going to be that way. A choiceless acceptance will need a Vedic way of life. So that's why we connected the topic in that way. But most of you are exposed to so many things. It is going to be only a paste, okay? We are going to grind the same thing, but in a different format. Like when we were doing the course, on the first day Swamiji said, it is going to be the same elephant. The same elephant, Brahman is the elephant there, okay. The same elephant will be discussed over and over again for 3.5 years. So you have to only have different ways how the intellect works. What is this Vedic way of life? Generally we say Hinduism is a way of life. What commonly we say that Hinduism is a way of life. What is this Hinduism? Is it only for a particular person or it is for a group? Where it comes from? So when we talk about it, we say the Vedas tells the way of life. The Veda, the scriptures, gives you the way of life. How the life has to be led is there in the scriptures. So that's the Vedic way of life. Or you can even call it the auspicious way. We have the very famous sloka, right? Shivam Shantam Shivattamam Shivottamam Shivamarga Pranitaram Pranatosmi Sadashivam. What is this Shiva Marga? It can be Shiva Marga, one was given the auspicious path, Karmadarya, and Shivasya Marga is Sashti. Okay, it is the Marga of the Shiva, an auspicious path. What is that? No, Chakrani Rajamarga, right? The royal path given. That is given in the Shastra. So how we look at it is, in the, Amma said, the Shastra has two ways. One is the Purva Bhaga, the Karma Kanda, and the other is the Vedanta. So they say that there are two lifestyles. If I say, you all will know. What are the two lifestyles? Jayasi te karmanaste. Okay, you have the two lifestyles. Whether it is a karma yoga or a jnana yoga. So it's going to be the same thing, okay? Karma yoga or jnana yoga. Where are we fitting? It's like, Swamiji always says, if a boy has a good job and then he's having good amount, these days you know how it works, okay? They all want a lot of money, lakhs, no EMI should be there, okay? There should be no EMI for the boy, a lot of conditions are there. So, good package. And then the boy comes and says, I want to get married. We have to say, yes, go ahead. But another person comes, still yet to be settled, not a firm job. And then if he comes and says, I want to get married, you have to say, wait for some time, get yourself settled. Okay? So this is how the Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, where you are. Okay? Karma Yoga is the preparatory for Jnana Yoga. It's like, we have to do the Karma Yoga and then enter into the, nobody comes directly into the Jnana Yoga. If at all, it is exceptional. If at all, if you quote Ramana Maharishi, it's all exceptionals. We cannot take an exceptional as a rule. Okay? Generally, we go only with the karma and then we enter into the Jnana Yoga. Shastra talk about certain features when we want to do this. First thing, all of us are wanting only Shanti. Peace. In my early days, somebody came and asked me, if I give you in one hand peace, if I give you in another hand bunch of money, what you will opt? I said peace. All of us will say that only. You may not be exposed to any Shastra, but still we will say it is only peace, because we need it. That's why we are all fundamentally, the basic thing that we are searching for is that Shanti. And the second is security. All of us are that insecurity, right? The most secured place, where it is, you'll be surprised. I am thinking on these lines. The mother's womb. Why? Because so secure, cool, and then all very sterile place. No bugs, no COVID, okay? Very sterile it is. But once the umbilical cord is snapped, the child becomes independent. It has to breathe by itself. It has to eat by itself. It has to digest. So it is always dependent. And especially with the human child, it is always lying like this. Okay? Yet to turn, no? Turn is one thing. And then movement is so many things, not like animals. Like when you see the giraffe, when it is there, only few minutes, that's it, it starts walking and going. But in human, it is a long process. The security is still there. So it always is that we try to hold, the child try to hold on to the mother's saree. Even now we all have different things, okay? We hold on to different things. Only thing we have to recognize what we are holding on to. We have to know what we are holding on to, but still that insecure. Searching for security. And this third one is the happiness. We all wanted happiness. I wanted to live. I wanted to live secured. I wanted to live happily. This is how our whole thing is this. Shanti, security and happiness. The Shastra comes and says, it gives a blow. It says the world cannot give you all these three. Whatever you approach, it is only a fleeting. It comes and goes. What Shanti you wanted to enter in, it is again a fleeting. If we have the disappearing messages even in WhatsApp, right? You make a disappearing messages that all our experiences are appearing and disappearing. We think this is Shanti, it disappears. Something we think it is secured, that becomes no you. One security holds on to the another insecurity, becomes a double security, and then the third insecurity comes in, aham, avam, vayam. All these insecurities, or we try to hold on something and then the insecurity keeps continuing. So the world cannot give us that security or the happiness. Where does the security and the Shanti lies in? The Shastra gives the answer. It is there in that Anitya Prapancha itself. It is there in the changeless reality, is there in the change. Whatever is changing, in the changing Adhikarana is the changeless. So through the Dvaitam, we try to look at the Advaitam. That is why whenever we have to see the pot, we have to see the clay. Whenever you see the chain, you have to see the gold. I'm giving the classic example that we use in the Shastra. So that is the Prapancha, Anitya Prapancha itself has this Nityam. What is this reality? So this is the thing. Then how to go about it? So he says Karma Yoga. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana. It's very easy to say. Those days they were telling, do the karma, don't expect result, especially in our state. But then Swamiji came up and changed the whole thing. He said no. He said you expect the result, but it is not going to be in what your expectation is. It may be, he said, no, more than, more, you all know, you're all Star Wars in that more than, less than, equal to or opposite, all those things. No, the karma is that. The karma helps you to get into the Jnana. It is like it's not a jump. It makes you to think. After doing this, even marriage is also a karma. So karma, it is a mandate. Karma, like in the sense, no, somebody was asking this question. Is marriage is a sentence or a meaning? You can either, Swamiji said this, you can either make it a meaning or you can make it as a sentence for life. So this is, it's like, this is how the karma comes in there. There is, the marriage helps a lot of karma comes, marriage helps a lot of stiram. It helps a lot of stiram there. This karma yoga helps us into the Jnana yoga, which the Shanti, insecurity and happiness is the Purnatvam we are seeking for. Because we think we are Apurnam. So we wanted Purnatvam. So we are seeking that Purnatvam by looking at the world which cannot have. The Purnatvam lies in oneself. That has to be discovered. And that discovery comes in that Jnana Yoga. That how that it comes, things will fall at its place, okay? Sometimes we search and then we fall at place. Paper bags, something you buy, some sweet you buy in the paper bags and then you eat this food. Before you throw the paper, you see something, oh my God, something philosophical there. It strikes. And then it takes a long journey in your life. This is many people have come like that. The lady who went for the satsang and she was accompanied by another lady who was just a servant like. But the servant got matured, but the lady was still traveling. So this is how, no, we don't know what level we have. Like Puji Swamiji, when he started off, he wanted to know more about, right? When Puji Swamiji started, his cousin went for a Mundaka Upanishad class. But then Swamiji thought, what was this Mundaka? What is this? What? Mundaka, what is that? But when he went, he started continuing the classes, but the cousin dropped. And you can see the length of journey that Puji Swamiji had, and establishing so many institutions and making us all know. Even lady sannyasis was not there. The ladies were not given so much about Chimya mission, and Swamiji all came up with them, giving everybody the chance to know. That's the Jnana Yoga. What is this Jnana Yoga is Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasana. Listening to the Shastra, we have very famous Paramartha quotes for a length of time. What is that? The length of time in a live teacher. Okay? In a consistent length of time with a live teacher. Okay? That is that Shravanam. And then the reflecting upon and the Mananam. Mananam means that Mananam and Nididhyasana. Where do I enter into the Nididhyasanam level is the individual have to decide. Whether my Shravanam has stopped and my Mananam is enough, then doing the Nididhyasanam, the individual, the Guru doesn't guide in that. The individual knows. He will glide into the Nididhyasanam. So 3 aspects is in the Jnana Yoga is Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. This cannot be achieved by Tarkena, right? Naisha Tarkena. You don't get it by scientific analysis. We have to approach and ask. First exercise is you explore, why me? And then where to go for that question for why me is this Shastra. Where is that Shastra? We were all lucky because we got contemporary of 300 teachers are there now. Okay, initially there was not much. They have to go to the mountain and go, no? But now the mountain is coming to our place, right? So it's so much of advantage is that. Swamiji used to say this preparatory for Jnanam, he used to say that we should ask the person to go paidal from Rishikesh to Rameshwaram. And then from Rameshwaram, you have to come back to Rishikesh, paidal. Paidal walking. Why? Because all the way you go through a village and then you have something. Sometimes you meet a nice, beautiful girl and then you get married, settled, all gone, okay? All gone, okay? That's how the consistency, that's that Jnana Nishta, how this alone has to be that. That is the preparatory ground for the Jnana Yoga. That it will come. Once the Karma Yoga is done properly, the Jnana Yoga gets in. All of us are here because a lot of things we have thought about it. Why is it like this? We all thought how to be happy in all situations. I should be happy with money, without money, with marriage, without marriage, with children, without children, not going to America, I should be happy. All of us have the desire to come to this place, It's like a Swarga Bhumi. Swami Tapisananda, it's a Swarga Bhumi, right? Everybody wants to be here. Oh, you're in abroad, okay, nice. Initially, Puji Swamiji said that when they congratulated him, when he came first time and returned back to India, he said, even a postcard goes to America and comes back returned, okay? It also becomes a foreign return. It also becomes foreign return. So this Jnana Yoga, that preparation, the Karma Yoga gives you the preparation for the Jnana Yoga, the Shravanam, Mananam, and the Nididhyasanam. Now, what is this Karma Yoga is, you have to combine with some ritualistic things. So, we have Kayikam. When you are very healthy, we can do Kayikam. Do the puja, sit and stand. Sometimes after some years, our sitting and standing becomes a big project. Paramatma says that it becomes a big project, okay? Sitting and standing becomes a big project. Sitting on the same position for a length of time, it's also a problem. So in that case, when you're fit enough, we can do Kaikam. 100 namaskaras we do, right? 108 namaskaras for some of the things. It's not possible. Only when we are young. 3 or 4 we'll do, later on we'll do like this, right? Because then later on like that, that's it. So that fitness when you have, we can go for Kaikam. Otherwise, we can do only chant the mantras and then do the Manasam also. Manasa Puja is also very essential. All these three is the ritualistic thing that we can do in the karma. But we should not fail to understand Ishvara there. We always try to bring the Ishvara before the part. That's why we say Shuddha Spatika Sankasham Trinetram Panchavatrakam, right? Daily morning we chant, we adorn the Bhagavan. Very interestingly, Puji Swamiji, I have talked to Puji Swamiji, okay? Because you put the work on me. Puji Swamiji will say, the person goes, take a bath, and then you give Abhisheka to Bhagavan. And then you give Santanam, all the Haridra, Kumkumam, you put everything for Bhagavan. You put everything for you. New Vastra you give. You also wear a Vastra. Vastra, it need not be new, it should be a washed Vastra. Swamiji says it's a washed Vastra. Okay? Those days they had only 2. One on the line and one on the body, right? One on the line and one on the body. So you put Vastram, you put for Bhagavan also Vastram. You put for Bhagavan flower, you put for you also flower. So the walking God is coming out. The temple is coming out. The Ishvara is coming out. That's why when we greet also, we greet like this. So that Bhagavan which is there in you. So that kind of thinking, every day, every moment, bringing that Ishvara, brings that Karma Yoga there. That Karma Yoga, that's why we also teach the children. Like, starting from the beginning, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Samudra Vasane Devi, Parvatastan Mandale. Then we also say Gange Chayamune Chaiva. All those things, every moment taking bath. Sometimes even doing brushing also we can do. That Vanaspati Devata we worship. That Vanaspati Devata we worship when we are brushing the teeth. Everything is connected to Ishvara. So that connection to Ishvara gives you the Karma Yoga package. And that makes the maturity for Jnana Yoga. And that Jnana Yoga is very abstract. It's very abstract. So that requires lot of preparation. As you said, now why me? Why it is to me only? Then there's a common question, how did you come to this? How did both of you come to this? What is the starting point of this? I said, we didn't sit one day and prepare. Okay, today at 8 o'clock, today we prepared. We are not going to do anything like others or doing like marriage. So we prepare, we go with, no, things just happen. That just happen, like naturally it happens. It happens naturally and things fall at its places. It's all like, as you said, karma. If you say karma, people don't agree. The first investment that you make in the Jnana Yoga is our ignorance. The first investment that we put in the Jnana Yoga is our ignorance. Because we come ignorant. We don't know what is Atma, right? Only when we come here, only we know what is Atma. Brahman, all these are all the Vastu we talk about. That is the permanent Vastu, the Nitya Vastu which we are talking about. Abiding in that Nitya Vastu, what you will get is Shanti, security and happiness. So that's the ignorance. Till we come here, we don't know that we are ignorant. We think that what we are doing is same. Like all people who are there in the world, they keep, what are you talking? This is head and tail. We don't understand anything because ours is, the total life is different. Only when you work, when you're going to the job and going to these kind of things, no, you see the difference, how much question, no, they will ask. They will look at us also. What is this happening? Okay, what is this? When we say the breathing in and breathing in outside, it's itself is a mystic thing. They say you're talking philosophical. There is no mystic experience, right? There is no mystic experience in Vedanta. Vedanta is purely understanding. It's all understanding. No mystic. Because there is no second thing, there is no mystic. So what is mystic? Breathe. The Swamiji used to say this. The breath goes out and comes in. That itself is a mystic. Next moment we don't know whether it will come in or it will stop there itself. Okay? This is how we don't know that. We all think, no, everything, no, everything is going on, so we don't think about it. So only when we come to Vedanta, we think all these things, how it happens. We think that we put the food inside, we don't bother about the digestion. It happens on its own. Jataragni dress it. All this thinking, no, is the Karma Yoga. It gives you the lot of preparedness in your mind. And it need not be Vedic. Swamiji says when you are coming to this kind of classes, you have already done the Vedic karma in your earlier janmas. It need not be this janma. You should have done it. Otherwise, it is not easy to sit in a Vedanta class. It's true. You cannot sit in a Vedanta class because we will doze off. Either we will doze off or we will be thinking we will be in our own world. Either we will be in our own world or we will doze off. Somebody was telling when we recommended, they said after sitting the class, I am not able to sit. I felt like that I am just put in a hot water. Because all the terms and other things are all totally new. But with that difficulty, when we continue the pursuit, things will fall at its place. That also requires the grace. Ishvara's grace, Guru's grace, Atma Kripa. All these three are essential for us entering into the Jnana. And this religious karma and the Jnana Yoga combined together, we call it as the Vedic way of life. This Karma Yoga and combining with Jnana Yoga, you will get the acceptance of choiceless situation. This is how we have to combine it and see that how Jnana Yoga works through Karma Yoga. All of a sudden we cannot drop. Everything and go. Maybe there may be exceptions. Don't talk about exceptions, okay? We all go through. When we were supposed to do the second course in 94, some Acharya suggested, I thought they will do the second course in 94. Swamiji said, don't want to know. We didn't ask, but they suggested. They said, no, they have to get secured. So then we all have this idea, no? Swamiji, what is security? We are teaching Swamiji, okay? Innocent at that point of time. What is security? He said, security niyama, he stopped, okay? Because he knows. You should have some kind of preparedness to get into. So once you get into, then up and down, it's all a big thing. It's not easy, right? Even at the last moment when he said, you have to give the job. You have to give the job and come into the course, he said. We put this question to us. Valley Vidaname Abdinar. And if we put it in Tamil, it will be better. Okay? Valley Vidaname Ma Abdinar. Still, no, that's the taking care of the security. That security also is essential. So Karma Yoga gives this security there. You have that security. The family service that you give, that gives you a lot of nishta. Organizing satsang is a nishta. I asked her whether people will come, because last week only we had some class. I did ask her whether people will come. Organizing satsanga is a good service, and calling people, it is not easy. It's not easy. And people coming is also not easy. Okay, we have so many works to be done on Saturday evening, and coming and it's not easy. It all requires certain grace. That's a good service. So two service we have. One is the ritualistic service, and this kind of service also, which we call it as the Panchamaha Yajna. Building up Ayatanam, supporting the system, supporting the ashram, supporting everything. That gives you the service. Divya, no? Arama, Kupa, everything we have, okay? Chatralaya, we consider, we put pond for the cows to drink water. All these are Puta karmas. All services are involved in that karma yoga. Not only this ritualistic, this is also involved in that services. That's why that even as a satsang also is a service that you are doing. It's a good thing. It's not easy. We know how difficult it is. So these combined together gives you the preparedness of the mind for the Jnana Yoga. Both together makes you the Vedic way of life. Every moment, we had a talk in that Tamil Nadu Brahman Association 2016 or something. They said how daily Vedangal in Andrada Valkai. This was the topic, Vedic in daily life. So this is the Vedic in daily life. Getting up in the morning, putting Rangoli, all these are all the Vedic life. And Vedic, that Rangoli is not in that powder, stone powder, it should be in the rice flour, so that the ants can eat, the birds can eat. All have changed. Everything has changed. We all live in apartment. So we buy a sticker and put in front of the house, right? We buy a sticker and put in front of the house. So those days it was all like, no, all these are all the Vedic way of life. This disciplined life prepares one for Jnana. And that Jnana gives you the acceptance of choiceless. Om Tat Sat.